All right, our workout for today is called Alternate. Woohoo, so funny. It's a 20-minute AMRAP, and within that AMRAP, you are going to do 2 rounds of Nate, and then 1 minute on your machine. So Nate is 2 pull-ups or rows, 4 push-ups, and then 8 kettlebell or dumbbell swings. Okay, all of those movements. This is a great workout to sort of push the difficulty level of the movements. Obviously, we work with what we have, but I'll give you some ideas. So you're going to rotate through the 2 rows, 4 push-ups, 8 swings. You're going to do that twice, and then you're going to go to your machine. The machine is more a recovery portion of the workout. Okay, it's not supposed to be hard and crazy. It's just take a break, keep moving, and then back to your focus of the Nate movement. So your focus is on quality of those movements. Obviously they're going to be difficult, and then back to have a little bit of rest. Okay, estimated rounds, probably total rounds of Nate, probably 10 to 14, okay, depending on how difficult and what you have to work with, but that's sort of our goal is through that. Okay, so options for pull-ups and rows. So obviously if you do have pull-ups, you can band them. Remember, we are pulling back first, so shoulders away from the ears, pull away from the bar, and then make sure that chin gets over. They should be difficult, so obviously you can adjust the bands, okay, with what you have. You could do a chest bar pull-up to make it a little bit harder, increase that range of motion as well, okay. You could use your rings if you have ring rolls, so adjusting your feet to make it like a difficult too, but you shouldn't have to break those up. Or for most of us, we're going to have dumbbells or barbells or whatever to work from. Okay. Another option is if you have somewhere to anchor a strength band. I really like that option. Is you can use that. Sort of have your hands, elbows are extended. Okay, so back up so you're almost leaning away. If you let go, you're going to fall over. Nice tight core, and then your row would be through here. Okay. If we have something a little easier to work with, then we can add reps. So maybe we double it if it's pretty easy, but that's what we have. Then maybe we do 4 reps instead of 2. Okay, you can always add tempo. I'll go over in a second. But there's lots of options. Play around, making sure our shoulders are back and down, and we're pulling with our lats or our armpits. Okay. Another option is to do a single arm row. So elbow on knee, set your back nice and flat, shoulder back and down, and then pull. And then this is where we could add some tempo. If we only have 10s to work with, let's say, we're doing 3 to 5 second on the lowering portion of the workout, normal rate on the way up. Okay. Or we can do the same thing. We can do a bent over row, both arms. Just make sure you're feeling your hamstrings and not your back holding you up, okay? And make sure we're not sort of leaning like this and pulling, because the tendency is to shrug and then pull in, and again, that low back is going to get a little bit more. So try to get yourself as parallel to the ground as you can if you're doing that. Or we can use a barbell, okay? We can do pronated, so palms facing you, same thing, or supinated, palms away from you. I like this one with a barbell because it automatically sort of puts our shoulders in a better position, but whatever feels good, and the elbows stay tight. Okay, so all sorts of options. Just find something, like I said, with that tempo or whatever that's pretty difficult for you, but that you can maintain to and not have to break them up. Okay. Push-ups. That's probably going to be the hardest portion, the one that's going to wear out the most, but we still want to challenge those today. Okay. So same sort of idea. As always, elevated surface is my preference just because it transfers better to the push-up portion. So find different levels in your kitchen, especially as you're warming up. Maybe you start in like your kitchen counter and then you come down to your chair, but don't just like go to the chair if that's the hardest level for you. But making sure shoulders are back and down, that core is engaged, okay? So not just floppy midline, so core is engaged. And we want to be able to touch nipple line or below and back up, our body moving as one, okay? Not just our chest coming down and our butt staying in the air. Okay, tuck that tailbone, everything moves together. So do your best. Again, we can adjust the level, okay? So maybe with what we have to work with, it's a little hard, and it's like, I'm not going to be able to maintain 4, so maybe I drop that down to 2. That's okay. okay? Work with what you got, adjust as necessary. You can add the tempo as well, so maybe you want to go easier height, but slow down that tempo. Press up normal. So the downward portion would be 3 to 5 seconds down, press up, okay? You can also, we did one of these this morning, if you're really close to being able to do it from the floor but not quite there, we can do it a negative. So you start in a plank, you lower to your chest, just your chest touches, dig those knees in, press back on the knees. Okay, so lower in plank, dig the knees in, press back up. So if you're close to doing it from the floor, you can try that option as well. Okay, but yeah, that one's going to be probably the hardest to maintain. So push it, but not too far. And then kettlebell or dumbbell swings. So if you just have a dumbbell to work with, you can either hold the end of the head in your hands like this, or some people prefer to hold both. I find I have short arms and a longer torso relatively, so I find that one's a little awkward for me, but if that works best for you, go ahead and do that. Okay, you're going to sort of park your kettlebell, hike it into your hips or dumbbell, whatever you're using, and then from here, it's snapping those hips to come up. Okay, using the legs and snapping the hips, but making sure that core is maintained. So we don't want to let the dumbbell pull us through and go nice and low and round our back. We want to keep sort of the wrists right up in the groin. Okay, nice big belly, flat back, proud chest, and then snap to come up. So you can either do a horizontal swing or a Russian swing, so about eye level, or depending on your comfort with holding on to whatever you're using, you can come all the way up for overhead, or it depends on your shoulder flexibility and stuff as well. Okay, again, this one you might not be able to adjust too much depending on what you have for weight, but play around with the variations. If that swing is not really good for your back, okay, you're working through some issues, then change that to deadlifts. So you could do a single dumbbell deadlift, okay, or you could grab both dumbbells and do deadlifts that way as well, or barbell or whatever you have. Okay, maybe that's a better option for you today, so feel free to change it up. Hope that makes sense. There's some warm-up and recovery options if you want them in the text, and let me know if you have any questions. Have fun.